So both of these cabinets have now been stripped. Our mid-range enclosure is just under 4 litres, which isn't really big enough for what I was wanting to do with the mid-range, as in push it lower. I've just done the measurements for both of these, and they're not bad, considering they've got the old crossover components still in there, and they have been mucked around with a bit by the looks of things, and our tweeters are sort of a bit all over the place. The one with the mesh cover on it measures better than the speaker with the mesh cover missing and all this going on, which is to be expected. These do really help, so they are quite important. So yeah, mid-range enclosure as normal is not fixed to the back, which is why our back baffle or back panel is yeah, kind of works as a radiator really. So I will be gluing blocks underneath this to lock it together, and also I normally put a panel across here to lock that to that, and then we're locking that to the back. Looking at how my HF 1300 is going to fit in here, the mid-range enclosure comes to about this level here where I've put the line, and with this here we don't have enough room to get the super tweeter on the top, leaving enough meat for the cover. So this is mounted from the back, and this will be mounted from the front, so they can overlap, so they will be close together. They're going to be very close with the mid, so that's sorry, with the with this, so that's good. So it's going to be tight, but I think it's worth the effort. So what I'm probably going to do is drop a hole saw in here and take a larger section of this out, and then I can cut another section of 18mm chipboard and drop that into the cutout, let that glue and go off, and then I can cut out my new holes for this. What I'll probably do is take off the side of this so it can be mounted against the mid enclosure, and then we'll have our super tweeter at the top. I'm not going to go to the bother of recessing these, as in putting them into a, rebate the cutout, purely because all the other drivers are face mounted. So whilst we would clean up probably some diffraction and things like that, I'm just not going to worry about it on these, because we're playing with some of that with the mid and woofer anyway. So yeah, drivers appear to be pretty good. There's no cone rub, they're nice and free. The suspension is all good. The spiders are all intact. They need a damn good clean up, but yeah, I think really the bones aren't bad, so a bit of work to do. Someone has been in these before. The foam that was in this one around the tweeter area was all wrong, so I don't quite know what happened there, and the foam around the woofer was in the wrong way round as well. But yeah, something and nothing really. Right, I'm going to get on with cutting this lot out, and let's see what happens. Right, so I've done these cutouts with my teeth. That's what it looks like at the moment. So I'm going to cut a piece of chipboard, because that's what this is, about 1 millimetre or so larger than this cutout, or sorry, the hole saw. So it should be a nice tight fit, and then glue that in there. Once that's gone off, I can sand the whole front, so then we should have a nice flush panel again. Fill and sand it again probably after that. Also, I want to get rid of these screw holes that the Mark 1 has, so I'll fill those up, and then I can look at my cutouts. But while I've got this open, it's a great opportunity to get in there with some blocks and also run some glue around all the internal corners again, because getting up behind this part is nigh on impossible. So my technique for plugging holes like this, obviously you're going to make your plug using the hole saw you've cut the hole with. Sometimes it's better to just do it square and then offer up your panel underneath, mark it and cut it out on the table saw or band saw or something. But I find if you're plugging a hole, obviously the plug's smaller, what I tend to do is just staple packing pieces of cardboard around. Sometimes I'll wrap the whole thing in one piece of cardboard, and the good thing with cardboard is you can saturate it with glue, and it will kind of lock the whole thing together. Ultimately this will all be filled as well. So this plug over here has had quite a number of cardboard blocks like I've just shown over there, and then glue that I'm allowing to soak through, so it will get into the chipboard of my plug and the original. Obviously that's going to create a recess here as it sinks in, so eventually what I'll probably do, or the next part, will be to knock up some glue and sawdust and then fill this, and then eventually it'll be sanded and then probably filled again. It will take a bit of time. Obviously the easiest thing to do would just be to knock these blocks off and go over the whole lot in a new panel, but then I've created a thicker baffle which is going to cause me issues with the cover. So this will work out, it just takes a bit of time. Right, so it's another day and I've left all the glue in and stuff to go off during the night, and solid as. Similar sort of pitch, so we are nicely locked in there, and you can see how well the glue has taken and plugged that up perfectly. That's had probably 2 go-ins with glue. So what I'll do now is fill this, and then probably tomorrow when that's all gone off, then I will sand these. So all of our braces are now all glued in, so we've got this one here, one at the back locking the mid enclosure to the back baffle, and we've got one behind here that you can't see. So I'm just going to stand these up and we'll give them a bit of a knock. So significantly better now. Yeah, I mean we're obviously a hollow box still because we've got nothing in it, but significantly better. What I will also be doing with these is installing some cabinet panel deadening, which will further reduce that. So yeah, these are pretty nicely braced up. I do find that you can over brace these. I have had a pair which I've gone a bit mental on before, and you know, sort of adding braces across here, bits and pieces, and I don't know, you kill something in the speaker, which sounds a bit daft, but yeah, so what I've done here works really nicely. So once these are all filled, these will be ready to cut in our new drivers, and I'm quite looking forward to that. I've also gone around the whole lot with no more nails and sealed it all in, so yeah, all is good. Time to get some filler on these now. Filler's in, so I'm going to have to wait for that to go off and then sand these, and then probably have to fill them again. You just can't get it all in one go normally. Well, maybe that's just me. Oh, I've missed a screw hole, look. So yeah, I'll get those sanded back when they're dry, and then fill them and sand them again if need be. And then what I'll probably do is prime this and then roller it with some satin black. A bit of texture, so using a roller, a foam roller, can disguise any kind of discrepancies, but I'll see how they come up. Normally doing this comes up really well. I could have cut my new holes before doing this, but I find it's better to start with a blank kind of canvas, if you like. I did, while I was measuring up, look at using the HF2000 as the super tweeter instead of the Coles, because the HF2000 is used as a super tweeter in a number of speakers, but there just isn't the room here because of where the mid enclosure ends up and just the room we've got left. I'd never have any meat left for the cover and it just wouldn't physically fit. So using the Coles is, yeah, turned out quite well really. So I'm looking forward to how these are gonna sound at the end, because I think it could be pretty decent. Hey pussycat, what are you doing? Hey, hey, what are you doing? Meow. What are you saying? Yeah, hello. Hey, what are you saying? Meow. Oliver. Oliver. What are you doing? So it never ceases to amaze me just how dirty these drivers get. I know they're like 50 years old, but I mean, that is, I don't know, just grime and dirt. So I always brush these and vacuum them. They are doped, so you've got to be a bit careful, and then isopropyl alcohol to really clean them, and then treat the rubber afterwards. So the mids were in pretty bad shape. So on the Mark 1, the rubber surround is pre-glued to like a paper or cardboard surround that goes over the whole thing. That's not the case in the Mark 2. So this was all peeling off and is all broken up. So I've knifed around the edge and taken that card off and then re-glued the suspension. So this will get a good cleaning up as well, and this will get painted. So yeah, there you go. Right, so I've been sanding outside because it's actually a really nice day, which is really unusual here in Devon. And I'm really pleased with how these have sanded up. Not bad at all, and because we've got this real wood moulding on the front, you can go at that quite well. So they've only had a 120 grit sand, so quite coarse, so they will need finishing off. I'll probably do them in something like 300, maybe 240, right at the end. So this one's come up well as well. These are beautiful, you wouldn't know, but what did surprise me, and I couldn't see until I'd sanded them, so sanding brings up the good and the bad, you know, it goes brings out the veneer really nicely, but also if there's been any repairs or anything like that, then you end up exposing them. And here on the bottom we've opened up a bit here. Now it's not open on the inside, so I suspect this is a bit of moisture, and that looks a little thicker to me there than it is there, which yeah is a bit annoying. So I'm going to have to first fill that with glue and clamp it, and then when the glue has gone off, fill it if I need to, and then obviously they're going to get a final sand at some point anyway. But oh yeah, just a bit annoying, but yeah, otherwise they are coming up really nicely. They're going to be a really good looking pair of 44s, so very pleased. Drivers are all sorted now. I've given the super tweeters a mask up and a paint, make them look pretty, so we are all good. My HF 1300s are hidden away at the back there. So drivers all tested, all fine, all good. Crossovers I need to do, but they are going to be very much adjusted because of the new tweeters we're using. So yeah, 3 or 4 steps forward, 1 step back, but not the end of the world. But yeah, these are coming up really nicely. they're going to be a lovely looking pair of 44s. I might need to get some hard wax and fill up these little bits, but that's it. Backs will be painted black. Yeah. Right, I think I'm probably going to leave this video here. And then part 3 we'll get these drivers in and the cabinet's finished. So yeah, I'm sorry this has all been wobbly cam. I promise the next parts won't be. Yeah, all good.